Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Second Chance Overland. It's been a while and it has been a really long time since I have been able to get a vehicle on the lift other than the Wagoneer. So I'm super excited today. I've got some stuff I've wanted to do on the Gladiator for a little while now, mainly with the rear suspension on this thing. Let me show you what I got. So prior to doing the weight reduction on this thing, to get it to sit level, I had to add blocks to the springs to get this thing to where it would sit level. And now that I've dropped a bunch of weight, it's actually back up. So now those are also the standard 3.5 inch lift springs from Teraflex. When I ordered this kit, they did not have anything different. They now have basically an HD or an Overland version, specifically designed for extra weight on Overland rig vehicles. So I'm going to switch out for those springs, but I'm also going to add a kit it's a airlift airbag system. And that's mainly so that when I do actually hook up a trailer and tow with this thing, I can put a little extra air in the bags and help support that extra weight, just because the Gladiator is pretty heavy already with the stuff I have on it. So I don't tow a trailer a ton, but I did get rid of my F350, so if I want to take the Razor out anywhere on the trailer, I got a trailer with the Gladiator now. Almost like Grand Cherokee. We don't have the Grand Cherokee anymore either. Let's get to work on the Gladiator here. Let's get these springs changed out. I'm hoping it's really going to help the ride, get the airbag system put in, and yeah, should be fun. All right, so to pull these springs out, I do need to drop the axle, and it's being held up by a number of things right now. The shocks, the sway bar. The control arms seem to have quite a bit of droop in them, so I think I'll get away with not having to pull those. But we're going to start with the sway bar here, and as you can see, fully extended right now. So I've got the front of the vehicle supported with some pull jacks, and I'm going to use my transmission jack here to lift up on the rear end so that I can control it. Well, as usual, something always has to go wrong. So I was using my transmission jack to lift the rear end up, to loosen everything up so that I can try to get these springs out. And let me show you what happened to the transmission jack. I don't know how well you can see this, but it just completely tweaked. Not what I wanted. This flat out sucks. All right, gotta figure out a new plan. Alright, so I got the old springs out. That did take a bit. With the size of the lift, especially with the spacers, even with it drooped out as much as I can without pulling control arms completely off, it was a challenge to say the least. So, got to get the new springs in, but before I do that, I do need to figure out the airbags. So I'm going to work on that next. Alright, so those are in. I need to figure out where I'm going to route the airlines. Alright, so I got the springs and the airbags in, got the line going up. I've got it routed up here and away from the exhaust. And then what I did is I drilled into the brackets for the X-Vision reverse lights just on the side there, so well protected, nothing's gonna hit it. Same thing on the other side. So new springs and new airbags are in. Now I gotta go through and put everything else back together, which should be fun. But yeah, we'll get at it and then we'll see how it sits. Hopefully with the better spring rate on these springs, it's not gonna sit low since I took those spacers out with the other springs, and then hopefully the airbags will help with any kind of load. So excited to see how this does. Just gonna see if I can get the thing back together now. All right, so the new springs are installed, the airbags are installed. I have not put any air in the airbags yet, but everything is complete and put back together. Now I did take some before measurements, and I was at 44¼ inches in the back, center line of the wheel to the fender flare, bottom of the fender flare, and that was with the old springs and an 1.5 inch spacer block from Teraflex. So remove that. Now it's all spring, no spacer, no air in the airbags, and I'm at 44, which is dead even with what the front is. So the thing's sitting level right now. I'm going to put a little bit of air in the bags. They do say to put to maintain at least 5 psi and a max pressure of 35 psi. So I'm going to put some air in these things. Nice thing is I've got onboard air, so I can adjust this as I need to get the ride right. And yeah, should be good. So I'm going to pump it up to 35 psi and take another measurement and just see if it changes anything. I've heard mixed things on these airbags that yes, it will raise the ride height. Other people saying no, it won't. So I'm curious on my own to find out this on my own here. But yeah, I'm happy that it's sitting right and I was able to get rid of those spacer blocks. Definitely, I think we were just, with those in there, it was just preloading those springs so much. So I'm really interested to see how this thing rides now. So let's get some air in these things. All right, so that was actually kind of crazy. As I was airing up the passenger side, at least, I was able to look over and watch the fender on the tire, and I can actually see it moving up a little bit. It didn't do a lot. It's definitely going to stiffen it up, so it didn't raise it a ton, but it did raise it a little bit. You can actually physically see it as you're airing it up. So I've got 35 psi in both right now, and see how it rides. Definitely think it's going to be too much for unloaded. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. Everything seems to be working. And yeah, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Really helps me out. And we'll see you next time on Second Chance Overland.